setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome back to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad that you've joined me. I have been, from the very beginning of starting my podcast, which is like 200 episodes ago, I have been trying to educate. And that's what the whole purpose of the podcast is about, is to educate. That's what the WBT, the World of Business and Taxes, is about. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about from the very beginning is personal finance, planning for your retirement, getting set, and getting organized, and getting to understand what your finances are all about. So we need to really focus on that, because a lot of us, especially me, I'm 60 now, and I'm still focusing on other people's finances, but I don't think I've spent enough time on my personal finances, which I'm starting to do now that I'm in South Carolina doing these podcasts. One of the worst things that we have to do, listen, if you hear me sniffing, if you hear me that, I don't know what's in the air, but there's something in the air that has been making me sneeze for the last week. I don't know if it's pollen, I do not know what it is, but it is driving me nuts. And I tell you, I sneeze so hard that my dogs run. That's how bad it is. So I don't know what's in the air that's causing this, but it really gives me a lower voice. So I'll be thankful for that. I guess you always have to look for the positive, right? But in dealing with our finances, we have this mentality which is called the FOMO, F-O-M-O. Do you know what that stands for? Well, it stands for fear of missing out. F-O-M-O, fear of missing out. In other words, what we see, and we have to resist this herd mentality that we see so much out there, that when people say, oh, XYZ got a new BMW, I need to go out and buy a new BMW. I see somebody getting a Louis Vuitton, oh, I need to go out and get a Louis Vuitton. Somebody went on a really expensive vacation, I need to go on a really expensive vacation. It's this fear of missing out. They see other people doing stuff, and then they feel as though that it is their responsibility to keep up with the Joneses. Remember that old phrase, keeping up with the Joneses? So the problem is this FOMO makes you an individual that is willing to spend money, even if you have to go into debt on credit cards, in order to be able to keep up with your next door neighbor or your friend or your cousin or your mom or your dad, whoever you're trying to keep up with. It's nonsense. Stop it. Stop the FOMO. Okay? Just stop it. It is not healthy because it gets you into trouble. So you need to have a withdrawal from this FOMO addiction and start really thinking about your financials for the remainder of your life. And I also want to say this to you. Be content with less. You don't need all the expensive stuff. I tell you, for years I drove the nicest BMW out there, but it cost me an arm and a leg to maintain that thing. In fact, I had two of them. So in the last 2 years, what I did is I got rid of them all. And you know what I drive now? I drive an SUV that has 131,000 miles on it, and it's still going strong. And it costs me a lot less than those two BMWs. You don't need to have everything. Be content with less. Repeat that into your mind all the time. Be content with less. You don't need that 6,000 square foot house. All you need is 1,400 basically. Because you don't live in 6,000 square feet. You buy a lot of furniture and you go into debt with that furniture, but you don't need it. Be content with less. We don't need to deprive ourselves. We can still have a nice house. We can still have nice furniture, but in simplicity. We don't have to deprive ourselves, but we can live in simplicity, and we don't need all the bells and whistles. We can live with the simplicity of life. And then the other issue is that all of us have this problem of staying on course of what our financial goals are. And the reason why is because we do not spend enough time to sit down and create a monthly budget of what you're going to spend each month. What are the priorities? What are the needs? And how much you're going to save? And how much you're going to put away for a bad situation that may come, which we call an emergency? How much are you putting away for your retirement plan? In other words, we need to sit down and we need to stay the course and we need to follow our budgets on a month-to-month basis. Budgeting is the key to financial success. I'm not kidding you, but don't do it alone. You and your husband and wife, or you and your mate, or you and your husband sit down and work on that budget together. In fact, there are online budgeting tools that you can use. But you need to get that budget under control. I tell you something. When I see people that have a Schedule C on their tax return, and one of the highest line items, you know what it is? Meals and entertainment. And you would be surprised when you see a person who's making $75,000 but is spending $12,000 a year in meals and entertainment. That means going out to dinner, and you know what? Only half of that is allowable. And sometimes the IRS will come back and question it and disallow everything. In other words, we need to stay on course. We need to set our budget. How much are you going to spend on marketing? How much are you going to spend on your kids? How much are you going to spend on your small business? Etc., etc., etc. You need to prioritize budgeting. That's vital, because that is where you can put your money to work. The money that you can save off of budgeting is where you should be putting your money in investments, savings, and also your retirement programs. Put as much money as you can out there in those retirement programs, because when you're ready to retire, you should have enough there to live very comfortably. But you need to downsize, you need to streamline your costs, and you need to live simpler. Simplistic. Remember, the word of the day is simplistic, and you need to budget. The budgeting is most important. And a lot of you are not checking in with your partners, okay? You need to have that communication about your spending habits. Cut back on your big ticket items. You know, so many people are out there buying these big ticket items and they don't need to. Gosh, I've known some people, when they've cut that out, they've saved over $7,000 a year. You know what? That $7,000 can go right into your retirement plan, or right into your investment plan, or right into your college tuition plan for your children. My gosh, you don't know how much big ticket items that you're buying out there that you don't need. So we need to get our lives into check and balance here. So I want each and every one of you to sit down with your husband and wife, or with your spouse, or with your significant other, and I want you to put together a budget. How much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and how much you're saving and you can put into retirement plans. Get focused, people. I want you to be able to end your life when you become 65, or whenever the day that you're going to retire. And some people have retired at 34 because they've put their financial plan in focus. Wouldn't it be great to be able to retire at 34? It'd be great. And it'd be smart. So, what I'm trying to tell you today, get your financial priorities in check. And let's start really focusing for the remainder of this year, which isn't very much. It's only October, November, December, 3 months to get ready for 2018. if you need help, just send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com, and I'll help you out. I can send you an Excel spreadsheet where you can get that together. But listen, you need to start focusing. Forget the big tickets. Forget all this other stuff. Forget all of the wonderful things that you think you can buy because you see other people buying them, and only focus on your personal finance. It's vital. So let's get to it. If you have any questions, just send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com, and I will respond to you. I promise. I'll talk with you later.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.